Undersea Mystery Club, Problem at the Playground, Part 2. To the clubhouse! Violet exclaimed. To the clubhouse! Dusty said. Yes! Wally agreed. He had already forgotten all about the seagrass cookies. The best friends swam to their secret hiding spot, a small alcove in the middle of a nearby coral reef. What do you think happened? Violet asked. She plopped down into a chair made of sand. Wally started giggling. What's so funny? She asked. The coral is tickling me, Wally said. He wiggled his flippers. Wally, we need to focus, Violet said. Right, Wally replied. Do you know what we should do? Violet did, indeed. A brainstorm, they exclaimed together. Coming up with ideas was one of their favorite things to do. It was also a great way to solve mysteries. Violet took out an hourglass, a pencil, and her trusty notepad. 3, 2, 1, go! She said, flipping that hourglass timer over. Wally had already come up with lots of ideas. Maybe an alien submarine came during the night, and it's part of their plan to take over the world, one park at a time. Violet laughed and wrote it down. Or maybe it was a mad scientist, Wally added excitedly. And she used a giant, super powerful magnet to pull out all the screws and hinges and stuff. Violet raised her eyebrow, but kept scribbling. Or maybe there was an earthquake, Wally suggested. Could be, Violet said, nodding. But I think we would have felt that. What do you think then? Wally asked. He was out of ideas. Violet watched as the last grains of sand passed through the hourglass. Well, she said, those things are possible, but it's also possible it was just a troublemaker pulling a prank. But who would? Wally asked, trailing off. They knew exactly who would do such a thing. Gil Sharkfin! They all said at once. Everyone in Aquamarina knew that Gil Sharkfin was the biggest prankster around. He loved playing tricks on people. In fact, Gil was so good at pranking, he had won the Best Prank Award every year since it had been invented. Of course, he also invented it. Violet and Wally found Gil right in the middle of town. Not surprisingly, he was moving the hands on the village clock. Look who it is, he said. Are you here to help me turn back time? Violet shook her head. We're not here to play games, Gil, she replied. Someone sabotaged the new playground. And you just assumed it was me? He cut in. It usually is you, Violet reminded him. True, he replied with a smirk. And I'm honored, but I can't take credit for this one. My pranks are hilarious, not dangerous. Besides, your mom would excel me if I ruined any more town events this year. Violet knew he was right. Between Aquamarina's summer parade, fiasco, bicentennial blackout, and the silent winter concert, Jill had definitely caused enough trouble already. Not that that would stop him from smaller everyday pranks. Ding dong, ding dong! The clock chimed so loudly that they all jumped. A shopkeeper came out of a store across the street. Hey! He called. Stop messing with that clock! Got a jet! Jill replied, laughing. See ya around! He swam off in a flash of bubbles. Violet and Wally slowly swam back to their clubhouse. Now what? Wally asked. That was our only good lead. Violet thought about the clock striking twice. That's it, she claimed. If the culprit struck once, they may strike again. Wally clapped his fingers. Meet me at the playground tonight after dinner, Violet explained. We have to go back to the scene of the crime. If Jill, or someone else, comes back, we'll be ready for them. Later that night, Violet and Wally returned to the park. We need a hideout to catch the thief in the act, Violet told him. Wally used his horn to reveal a mermaid, and Narwhal size hole in a wall of seaweed. How about here? He asked. It's my favorite hide-and-seek spot. Perfect, Violet replied. And good to know, she added with a wink. Oops, Wally sighed. Soon, the friends were hidden from view. The long wait had begun. I'm hungry, Wally complained. You are always hungry, Violet laughed. But I have something for you. She reached into her backpack and pulled out a brown bag. Do you know what you eat during a stakeout? She asked. Steak, Wally cried. No, Violet laughed. But I did bring you some leftover seagrass cookies. Wally smiled as he gobbled up the cookies. The sun was slowly disappearing overhead. Ugh, Wally grunted. This is taking forever. Shouldn't the aliens be here by now? Violet laughed. We have to be patient, she said. Besides, it's only been a little while. I hope they come soon, Wally said. I have to be home by dark. Me too, she sighed. Me three, added Dusty. Crunch, crunch, crunch. What's that noise? Violet whispered, putting a hand to her ear. Is someone out there? Wally stopped chewing. No, he replied, his mouth full. I just finished a bag of cookies. I think it was something else, Violet replied. Quick, toss me those binoculars. Wally used his horn to flip the binoculars to Violet. The last glimmers of sunlight beamed off the metal heap in the middle of the park. Violet adjusted her binoculars, just in time to see something move in the moonlight. What are those things? Violet whispered. Aliens, Wally replied. I knew it all along. They look like rocks, Violet said. Alien rocks, Wally added. Violet slapped her hand to her forehead. We have to get a closer look, she said. I'm going in. Wally gulped. He knew that meant he was going in too. To be continued.